ricordo di averti invitato alle nozze di mia figlia.
Ma, signora, pensavo te ne fossi scordato. Così sono venuto. Alla felicità di tua figlia. Che sia benedetta da molti bambini.
Potevi essere tu a danzare con mia figlia.
Lo so. Ci penso spesso. Forse io non ero destinato a sposarla. Credo che quel vecchio invece lo sia.
Perché sei qui?
Per parlare.
D'accordo. Dopo. Lascia che mia figlia si goda le nozze.
Silenzio! Silenzio!
È tempo che marito e moglie vadano nella loro camera matrimoniale. Allora, di cosa vuoi parlare?
Shalom. All praise and glory to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and all the Akim out there that are pushing this truth with nothing but sincerity in the name of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So as you can see right there, man, the language was, they were speaking Italian, but, so pretty much was that, the king, right? He was the one, the guy with the long hair, older type of dude, not the other one, but yeah, he was the king, right? And he pretty much gave his daughter away to another king, or I don't know if he was a king. You seen that chunky Edomite looking dude with the red face? He had money though. He had money, so therefore the king gave his daughter to him. Because the fact that he was like a wealthy man. So, and you can see the look on the daughter's face though, because at the end oh, by the way, there's a show called Vikings, and it was the first season. I've been watching this show. It's pretty good. I recommend it. It's a good show. And and at the end you can see the daughter's face. She didn't want to go with them because the father announced that they were gonna go to the marriage chamber. The chamber room was the matrimony chamber. So you know what that means. They were gonna, do the nasty though. And that fucking guy, he wasn't the prettiest flower, But like I said, the father of the lady gave it to her. You know what I mean? So he pretty much gave him to him, because that's how it was back in the ancient times. You know what I mean? If there was a guy that was wealthy and he had money and shit, that's why back then the guys the fathers would want to have their daughter come out pretty though, so they could come with the because you know what I mean. This thing about the daughters and giving it to the wealthy man, it's just business, man. Just business. Now now you're in a days of comp where a woman could be dependent, a woman could, do things on her own and shit in the matter though. But that's not how it was. That's not how it was back then. Back then is you wanted to give your daughter to a guy that had money. Hey, give me 50 shekels, and boom, it was more of a what's it called, a business transaction. And I want to speak upon a little bit of that today, and the marriage, which the marriage is the sex though. You know what I mean? Because you gotta understand, if you're someone that has a common sense, or has even if you're simple-minded, back then people wouldn't go to a church, a temple made of hands. There wouldn't be no priest though, and the priests back then were the tribe of Levi. They wouldn't say now announce you wife and marry you now marry your wife, whatever. There was no people threw rice. You weren't, dressed up in a tuxedo. It was nothing like that. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with the, you'll go in front of a priest though, and he'll tell you now you have a vow, say it. Look at the lady. If anyone has to say something right now, forever hold your peace. Had nothing to do with that shit though. Back then, the marriage was and still is having sex, popping a woman. That's the marriage though, because you both conjoined to each other though. You know what I mean though? Because let's look at Genesis 24, and then it was the last precept. This is Genesis 24 and 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. He said, and Isaac brought her into his mother's tent and took Rebekah. What do you think that word took mean? Oh yeah, he just took her, took her to the tent. Of course. No, but the thing is, that's already explained, because in the first one it says, and Isaac brought her, so he pretty much took her, Rebekah, to his mother's tent and took Rebekah. How is it that he brought her and took her at the same time? That don't make no sense. So Isaac brought her, as in he brought her to the tent, and took Rebekah, as in he popped her, and she became his wife. Does it say they both went into this church, this temple? Priest said, hey, you say I do, you say I do. Did people throw rice? Were they wearing tuxedos? No. It said, and she became his wife. How did she become his wife? By popping her. You see? So ain't no such thing as, people go to a church and shit. And then it's stupid though, man, because nowadays and shit, like I said, you go to these fucking churches, right? And then next thing you know, you say I do, then you gotta sign a certificate. So you're pretty much through the state getting married though. You know what I mean though? So it's ridiculous as shit. You're signing a paper and shit. Like, what the fuck? Why the fuck do I gotta sign a paper if I want to get married to this woman? You know what I mean? So that's the thing, man. And like I said, when I was talking earlier about the 50 shekels, right? So let's look at, I know it's Deuteronomy, I think it's 22. Yeah. Deuteronomy 22 and 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, so this adultery, right? So you know what? Let's look over here though, real quick. Let's look this one up right here. It says Deuteronomy 22 and 13. If any man take a wife and go into her and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, as in talking shit, and speaking and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. As in he's lying, saying, speaking bad upon this woman that he took, right? Then it says, then shall the father of the damsel, which damsel means the young virgin, and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity into the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father saying to the elder, I gave my daughter into this man to wife, and he hated her. See, so once you pop a woman, you're supposed to deal with her. You can't just be like, I'm just done with you and put you away. Nah. So in this case, he can't, if the guy was lying, right? So the guy said he popped her, said, she wasn't worthy, she was bad, speaking bad upon her name, pretty much talking shit. So therefore, that's what the mother has to go and go to the elders, right? And it says, 17, and lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread a cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him, as in they're gonna talk shit to him, say, hey, can't be speaking upon about bad about her. You made a transmission deal, you know what I mean? And it says, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought upon it. That's what he has to do now. Brought upon an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away in all his days. So therefore, for him talking shit or accusing the daughter, he has to give 100 shekels to the father, and he has to fucking still keep her though. You know what I mean? Because he's lying though. But if this thing be true, or the tokens of the journey be not found for the damsel, then shall they bring out the damsel to the door of his father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her, and she shall die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house. So thou shalt put evil away from among you. So if she was lying, and she actually wasn't a maid, they had to stone her. But if the guy was lying, he has to pay 100 shekels to the father and still put up with her, or still can't put her away. You see? So this was actually a business transaction, man, back in the day, though. You know what I mean? That's how it was. It wasn't no big merge and shit and things like that matter. It was nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? So back then, it was more on a family business and shit, though. You know? Because let me get this last for Tobit, right? Tobit 6:13. Then the young man answered the angel, I have heard, brother Azarias, that this maid had been to 7 men who all died in the marriage chamber. So, marriage chamber, right? So let's look that up. Marriage chamber. So this is so that girl, right? She had 7 husbands, but they all died. But Tobit's dad, Tobias, his dad Tobit told him to get with someone from the same kindreds, from the same tribe. So look at, anyways, back to this though. Marriage chamber in the Bible, it says, the bedroom used by a newly married couple. See, the bedroom used by a newly married couple, the bedroom in which a marriage is consummated, right? So this is what it says. The word consummated. It says, in the context of marriage, consummation means the accusation of marriage. It is the first act of sexual intercourse. So where was the whole ceremony in the temple, throwing rice and all this bullshit? It had nothing to do with nowhere though. So that's what it is, chamber of marriage. You know what I mean? So they're pretty much what they call it now, the honeymoon. You know what I mean? So, and then I know I had it somewhere. Here it is. So marry, right? The word marry, right? This is a figurative meaning. Unite intimately or by some close bond of connection. You know what I mean? So it says unite intimately or by a close bond connection. You see what I'm saying though? So that's why unite intimately, right? So intimately, let's look the word up. Intimately, you know what I mean? Intimately. In a way that involves detailed knowledge. Let's look for another one. It says, having a very close relationship, very warm and friendly, very personal or private, involving sex or sexual relations. You see? So marriage is when 2 people get together and they, have sex. You know what I mean? So going back to this precept, who all died in the marriage chamber. See? And it says, now I am the only son of my father, and I'm afraid lest if I go into her and I die as the other before, For a wicked spirit loved her, which hurteth no body, but who unto her, it says, but those who which come unto her, therefore I also fear lest I die. And I bring my father's and my mother's life because of me to give grave with sorrow, for they have no other son to bury them. You know what I mean? Because he was the only child, you know? So it says, but those which come unto her, therefore I also fear. So 7 people, even though she had 7 husbands, right? Because they did pop her. They did pop her though. But the thing of the matter is, they died, you know? So that's why the angel told him to burn what was it? To burn the heart. It says the liver. I think it was the heart and the liver. Yeah, and to burn it though, you know what I mean? Because let's read 6 and 12. And the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me, and I will speak to her. We will turn from rages. We will celebrate the marriage. For I know that Raguel cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moses. But he shall be guilty of death, because the right of inheritance doth rather apprint to another. So they had to be from the same lineage. You know what I mean? They had to be from the same lineage, because I know it's in Tobit 4. Tobit told his son, Tobias, told him this. Tobit 4 and 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even they are all married, wives of their own, even they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, Tobit wanted his son to marry someone from his tribe. But that's for another lesson, though. But see, I think I'm gonna call this lesson what's love got to do. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the marriage is when 2 people get to have sex, though. That's the marriage, because they come close, though. Because when a woman is whoring around, and but like, I read that the sperm, a guy's sperm particles and shit stay inside a woman's, you know what I mean, private, for 5 to 6 days. So therefore, if she popped this guy and she popped the next nigga, and then she popped 3 within the whole week, she got 3, 4 personalities in her. It's gonna fuck with her spirit. You know what I mean? Because those sperm stay behind still inside, so it stays for 5 to 6 days, almost a week. And she's popping like 2 niggas, 3 niggas a week. Imagine all those spirits in her. Because let's say, you start talking to a woman and shit, though. You start hanging out. She wants to kick you with more than her friends. You know, she start like talking like you in ways. She starts like kind of, not I said dressing like you, but she starts like talking. You know what I mean? She wants to spend more time with you. She even starts acting kind of a little bit like you. It's because that, you know, you're popping that girl, and she, you know, you leaving your shit in her. So imagine if she had other niggas and shit that popped her, and they have their stuff in her. It's gonna fuck with her spirit, though. You know what I mean? So, you know, hopefully this video was edifying. Until the next one, I say, Shalom.